all right. Ready to get them started. Oh, we're gonna get them started on time. Hey. Yeah. All right, D5 Ali, I got a quote from you, brother. All right, I see you on there. All right, let's get it started. Time for the theme music. Okay. Well, I don't call you out when I make the quote. Know that it's from you, brother. Hey, Sherry, how you doing, cuz? Got something from you, too. All right, much love to you, cuz. Favorite Facebook cuz. Friend in real life. Yes, indeed. All right. Good. Oh, there you go. Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM. I'm Patrice Gibbs, your host and third eye optometrist, ready to enlighten you. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Look, let me tell you something. This is not, I know you've been waiting all week, but this is not the only show on WHGE 95.3 FM, because following me is Timeless Thomas. Yes, indeed, with some enlightenment for you. Yeah, buddy. And tune in. Whoa. Tune in to 95.3 FM to hear the voices of strong women like Rochelle Wilson, who will be on here today at 2. Is it 2? No, 1. I'm sorry, 1. Following Timeless Thomas. Timeless Thomas is on following me from 12 to 1. Yes, indeed. So WHGE 95.3, the advocacy education station, where you want to be. You want some education? I got some for you right now. And I want to thank my favorite Facebook cuz, Sherry Bryson, for this story. Last month was, of course, Black History Month. We don't wait until February. We don't limit ourselves to February. Somebody even screwed up the mic in here. Okay. All right. I got it, though. Let me see my levels. Okay, might have to bring that up some. Because my voice is loud and heavy, and I got a big mouth. That's all right. All right. This is the story. Like I said, last month was Black History Month. This month is Women's Month. Okay. And then Women's Month, what's up, Vaughn? I see you, brother. Queen Nsoromma. Have you heard of her? Well, you will after the day. And like I said, I want to thank Sherry Bryson for this story. Okay, at the death of her husband, Emperor Patrice, who died in battle, taking the throne in the kingdom of Kush, Queen Nsoromma, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Nsoromma, yes, Nsoromma, will go on to become one of the most well-known female rulers of the ancient world. She was the most famous candidate or Candace out of the 4 female queens who ruled in Kush. Nsoromma is known as the queen with one eye, since her fierce military determination led her to lose it in battle. Okay? In addition to her known war tactics, she goes on to negotiate a treaty with the most powerful male ruler at the time, Augustus Caesar. During her rule, the Roman Empire was expanding and conquering various territories, such as Britain and Cleopatra's Egypt. The Romans quickly started pushing the south borders of Egypt into Kush, threatening the Nubians. Nsoromma led various attacks with thousands of soldiers into Roman territory and dethroned statues of Emperor Augustus Caesar. And it was in 24 BC. To show her distaste for the emperor, she beheaded a statue of him and buried it under the entranceway of her palace so everyone could walk over her head. She wasn't no joke. This act is not only ironic, but also a slap in the face of Augustus Caesar, since the Nubians would have to walk over the mighty emperor's head, walking in the Kush. If that isn't enough to prove her unique comedic tendencies, Nsoromma is believed to have fed her captives to her pet lion. Years passed of constant conflict between Kush and the Roman Empire, which finally led to Candrake of Nsoromma sitting down at a negotiation table with Augustus Caesar himself. A treaty was signed which led the Kushites to be free from Roman rule for the following 300 years. Her legacy. After spending her life fighting for her country, Nsoromma died in 4226. That's of the Kushite calendar. She played a significant role in securing Kush for centuries after. Since if you weren't for her leadership, the kingdom would have died. Since it weren't for her leadership, the kingdom would have died the moment the Romans set their eyes on the land. Queen of Nsoromma is set to become the subject of a movie within the next few years, produced by Will Packer with Mark Rosenthal as the scriptwriter. That should be interesting. Candrake of Nsoromma intrigued me since she is one of the most famous rulers in the ancient world, yet had never heard of her. Being assigned to watch an episode of the PBS documentary Africa's Great Civilizations, I later came to discover that I had watched the wrong episode. However, the wrong episode of the documentary that I watched contained information about Queen of Nsoromma that I otherwise would have never come across. Most common history textbooks only emphasize a woman ruler when discussing Cleopatra's empire, even though she was ultimately defeated by the Romans. Making peace with one of the largest empires at the time is an extraordinary and nearly impossible task. And you got to remember, these Romans were thugs, man. Nsoromma's courage and bravery inspires to work harder in every aspect of life, but not accept weakness as a role for being a woman. Even though history tends to focus on women being oppressed, Nsoromma demonstrated that this is not always the case. All right? Yeah. I remember the story of when Alexander the Greek, or Alexander the Freak, wasn't nothing great about him, okay, had conquered Cleopatra's, well, actually it wasn't Cleopatra's Egypt at the time, had conquered the much weakened Egyptian empire and went south in the Kush. And the Queen Candace at that time drew a line in the sand and dared Alexander the Free to cross that line. He had sense enough to know better, because what he did was he packed up his army and went the hell home. Yeah, he wasn't dealing with that. He wasn't stupid. That's the WHGE 95.3 FM. Brother Jardea, what's up, bro? All right.
votes, yes, or contributors that they are not intended to allow any religion, ethnic group, or
Of course, you know, we are always doing great things throughout history. Our history, even though we often talk about our struggle and our oppression and what have you, you know, it just shows the resiliency of our people, the great things we have done throughout history. And like I always tell you, our history did not start with slavery. Slavery interrupted our history. We're doing great things today all over the world. Take, for instance, Nigerian physician, Dr. Oluyinka Olutoye. He cut a woman baby out of her womb at 23 weeks old, successfully operated on the baby. After taking out a tumor, then placed the baby back into the mom's womb, and the baby was later delivered healthy and naturally on time at 36 weeks. Damn, that's something else. Woo. Excuse me, y'all, I had locked my co-host out. Nsoromma in the building. He will be with us shortly. All right, all right. And you're getting set up. That's word. Let me give y'all a little music for a second here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. All right. Where we at? Yeah. Uh-oh, no, not that. It's all good. All right, all right. Then we're going to come back and give you some more. WHGE 95.3 FM, the education advocacy station. You are on the open eye. Chop, chop. What's up, brother? All right. Yes, indeed. Yeah, that's a big wow, brother. Brother Jardea, I was telling Brother Jardea, that's a big wow on what that Nigerian physician did. Cut that woman's baby out and then put it back. Operated on the baby and then put it back.
in the baby?
Yeah.
I mean, in
the woman. He took them. Okay, he took the baby out of the womb, took the tumor out of the baby. Okay. Yeah, and then put her back.
Wow.
Yeah, but
And the purpose of him not keeping it out was what?
so that it could be born naturally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it wasn't fully mature.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't ready, for birth. But it had a problem, so he fixed that.
And then put it back.
And then put it back. And the baby was born healthy at the right time at 9 months.
Wow.
y'all finally made it. What's good, y'all? Young J, ain't nothing. Boy, hey, ho, Sharon. I see y'all. Aha! 17 jobs. That's what I be doing. 18th job right here.
Yeah, buddy. WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yeah.
Nsoromma in the house. How you doing, brother?
What's good, bro?
All right, chop, chop. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One love.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right, all right. Yeah, like I was saying, I was talking about, hold that back up again. Because, wow, man, I remember that Nigerian physician, Dr. Oluyinka Olutoye.
Oluyinka Olutoye.
Toye.
Olutoye.
Yeah, that's right.
If we would have kept our language, we would have been dope. We would have been so serious, man.
That's word.
Yo, that's crazy.
The names,
How
man.
how we black and can't even pronounce the name. You know,
Yeah, because our tongues have got messed up by this oppression.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know? That's word. But I got some of some of my Facebook friends and some of my, peoples and what have you, that, they're studying Swahili. My own family speaks Tutton, which is a language that was developed during slavery,
right.
so that, Black people could communicate with each other without the slave master actually understanding. I saw a sister, she was in the store, and this white woman, right, gonna come up, she's looking at the stuff on the shelf, and this white woman gonna come right in her path, right, and stand there like she's supposed to just move. The lady ain't say excuse me or nothing, right? And so,
did she give her KFC?
That's
called a two-piece.
Yeah.
A two-piece or a three-piece.
Nah, but she hurt her head is what she did. Right? Here's what your sister did, right? So the woman finally, went around her, okay. And she was mad because white people have this ideal that if they're coming down the street or coming down the aisle in the store, that you as a Black person supposed to move out their way automatically.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's a myth to me.
Yeah.
I'll run you over.
Man. So when she finally
we came up in the right era, man.
Yeah, we did.
I'm glad that because it's crazy. Like
it is.
They seem to know who to do that to and who not to do that to.
Right.
They really can sense that somehow.
As a rule.
Yeah, I mean, like they would. They wouldn't have want none of our era.
Because what happened last time. You know what happened last time? White dude called me the N-word.
Oh yeah, he's like, yo, my hand is broken.
Smelled up in her daddy.
This stuff was right.
Yep. He messed around and hit me right in my fist with his jaw.
Yep, my mistake.
Well, anyway, so this woman, she finally went around this sister, right?
Right.
And when she got, when she considered a safe distance, she called the sister the N-word. Okay? And the sister took it well, and she, she waited until she caught up to her in line. And when she did, she went up to her and she said, Ugala, sikapura, you makiwasi, and smiled at her and walked off. And the woman was like, what? What did you say? What language is that? What did you say?
That's what you gotta do. You gotta put a spell on them.
Yep. And the sister said, oh, never mind what I say, but how's your back feel? Kind of hurts right now. It's going to get worse. And then the woman, she freaked out. And she called the manager and said, the sister put a spell on me. And called the cops. And where have you? Right? And the cops came. And the sister looked at the cops and said, God, my feet.
The cops said,
oh, hell no. Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, man. And words is the most powerful thing in the universe.
Yes, it is.
That, right?
That's right.
And that's what they've been getting us with. They've been manipulating the word so bad and messing with the word, putting spells on us. We don't know we're putting spells on ourselves from some of the stuff they had us saying.
That's right.
So,
one of the things I say to people is, look, speak it into existence.
Right.
Okay? Because I would tell you about how this works. The universe will give you what you ask for, good or bad.
Right.
Some people don't know what to ask for or how to ask. Okay? Ask for peace, love, and charity, and harmony, and what have you.
Right.
Don't worry about the prosperity, because that's going to come. But if you don't believe in your own soul, see, look. It's something in Christianity stole this line, the kingdom of God is within. And to actually know heaven, you have to know yourself. If you don't know yourself, if you don't realize the power of your consciousness,
right,
subconsciousness, and the words that you speak to yourself.
Right.
Okay? So look.
Because we are heavenly.
We are heavenly.
Yeah.
Understand that we are not humans. We are spiritual beings having a human experience.
Right.
This is just one stop on our journey. Understand that. Overnight, WHGE 95.3 FM. All right. Well, the U.S. House has passed the Crown Act, okay, on the federal level, that prohibits racially motivated hair discrimination. Now, it was just a young brother in a wrestling match. No. That was a while back. Just a young brother graduated from school. All right. He had dreadlocks all through high school. Okay. He was an honor society student, this, that, and the other. And the school declared that he could not participate in the graduation ceremony unless he cut his dreads. Now, they had no problem with him all through school with his dreadlocks. But when he showed up on the honor society and showed himself to be on his way with a bright future, they decided they needed to do something to slow his ass down. The U.S. House passed the Crown Act on Friday. The Crown Act, which stands for creating a respectful and open world for natural hair, would ban discrimination based on the individual's texture or style of hair. Representative Ayanna Pressley, a Democrat from Massachusetts, I'm pretty sure, said on the House floor, the House affirmed that Black is beautiful and so is our hair. Sister, you know what? They didn't actually affirm that Black is beautiful. They just, went along and did something right for a change.
And the beauticians that's studying to do hair, now it's also a law that they have to learn how to do work with Black people hair also,
right?
With our kind of hair,
and with natural hair.
But they always skip and hop around all of the true subject. The true subject is our being in poverty and us not having a equal society to put us in the same round so we can get our own. They always take it off of the main source. The main source is, Black people need finances.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Economic finance.
Right.
And they don't be talking about that. They go all around that.
Oh, we'll put hair tucking in them $20 bill.
Well, we can't even afford that $20 bill you putting her on. What are you talking about? You see what I'm saying? And within like, they always got a scheme to that. And anything that's going on with them, to me, is a scheme.
Technology,
exactly. So don't let it fool you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Still stay focused on the main problem, which is, the unfair treatment. Right. The unfair treatment of us. It ain't but you give us, okay, here's a donut, here's some juice, here's some milk, and you think we're gonna shut up. And most of the time they do.
Right.
It ain't about that now. It's about staying woke.
Yeah. Well, you know what? See, the thing is this, okay? These little microaggressions affect us psychologically. Because you just think about this, okay? A law had to be passed for Black people to be able to wear their hair as it naturally grows out of their scalp.
No, see how racist that is. I mean, that's what I'm saying. We
have
to attack the problem from the problem. The problem is upstairs. The problem's not right next to us. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
The problem's up in the hierarchy. That's crazy.
Now, what you said about poverty, okay? America probably treats its lower income people in poverty, worse than any other country in the world. Okay? Now, let me tell you something. It's expensive to be poor in America. Now, when I said poor, here's the thing. Most people in their mind had the image of a Black person whenever you say poverty, because America has made the face of poverty a Black face.
Right.
And this puts their people and their leaders in a place, where, well, we don't need to do nothing about it. It's just Black people.
So what that tell you about you is like, and our leaders that's supposed to be helping us, what are they doing?
Right.
I mean, they are supposed to be revving us up as a people to get this.
That's right.
But yet they home chilling, he all right, getting their, they got their steak, they got their, all their extravagant possessions. You know what I'm saying? And they just forget about the people.
Right.
And if we need to get people in office that cares genuinely about us as a people. And there's no one in there that is talking like that.
Did you hear him, Congressional Black Caucus? Did you hear the brother that there's no one there for us?
No one.
And you're the damn Congressional Black Caucus.
Right.
Stop calling yourself that.
Don't call yourself that. That's like a slap in the face to
Good
black
time.
people. For
That's
real.
right.
And I mean, we as people got to stand up and get them kind of people out first, and then put some people in there that really is about business for us.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with, loving yourself.
Not
first.
at all.
So you can take care of other people and other things in your life.
Right.
They take that away. They don't even want you to love yourself.
Oh, no.
So, then that's where it starts. And then they keep you in that not loving yourself mode, so you don't love your daughter.
And you know what else they do?
You don't care to go to school.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you know what else they do? What else they've done? Not just do, okay? But they have criminalized poverty. Okay? It is a crime, actually, to be poor in America. Now, how's that work? Because they just
make us poor.
Yeah.
You make us poor,
Right.
And then lock us up
For being poor. Right.
I mean,
and how does that work?
That's how the slave chain works.
Yeah.
That's the slavery chain that they build in.
Let me tell you how that works. Let me tell you how that works, okay? What they do is things like this, okay? I seen this sister, and she was driving down the road,
right?
And she got pulled over for speed.
Okay.
Right? So she figured, well, I'm gonna get a ticket and, be on my way. I know I was speeding, I'll accept that, okay? So the cop pulled her over, checked her ID and this, that, and the other. Came back and told her, you're under arrest, you have a warrant. She was like, a warrant? Me? A warrant for what? I pay my traffic tickets. I got a good job. I work. I'm not doing anything crazy.
Right.
So what's the warrant for? Well, you have a code violation. She had a code violation for what? For not cutting the grass. You're under arrest. So she had a code violation that she didn't even know about, and that a warrant was put out for her on the city code violation for not cutting her grass. So she's cuffed up and she's arrested. Okay? Now, like I said, this sister had a good job. She was financially stable, financially prosperous. So she was able to pay her bail and get out and take care of this code. Okay? Imagine if you didn't have an extra $1,000 to pay off the code, the fines, and the bail. Guess what?
You still be in there.
You still be in there.
That's crazy.
And you going
know
to
how
jail.
many people in jail that's locked up that only got like a $50 bill and can't get out and have no outside people that can help them.
Right.
And that's where I say, I mean, when you're rich, right? It's certain things that I would do if I was rich. So I'll be expecting some of our black leaders, not our black rich players and singers and actors and all of them to help out.
Right.
And what I mean by help out is you ain't got to give money physically to the people. You can go into the courthouse or wherever and say, all right, we're all the $50 bills. Give me a list of all the people that has a $50 bill in here. You know what I'm saying? And then they go, oh, okay, well, you got 25 people that, okay, I'm paying all of them to get out. And you ain't got to say nothing. You ain't got to let them know that you did that or nothing. You can just do that in a humanity thing. Take care of your own
I know a brother that actually does things like that. This brother is well off, he's well known, but quiet as kept. What this brother does is when he sees some of these cases where it looks real shaky, and this, that, and the other, he quietly goes and pays their bail. Right. Helps them with a lawyer and this, that, and the other. And he demands when he does that you keep that quiet. Right. And I understand why he does that, because they're going to try to find, and they actually did try to do something to the brother. Right. Because he do that. Because he do that. Trying to help him. Right. And what they did was they had somebody making a false call that his house had been broken into, and that the robber was still there. And here, 6, 7 cop cars come show up. Ain't nothing happened at his house, and they gonna rush his house
and possibly shoot him.
and possibly shoot him
because they think he's still the one that's there in his house robbing and whatever. I mean, they do all kind of stuff to stop it.
And I tell you, when I think about this hustle that they use to steal money from poor people, okay, when I think about that, what I think about is Khalif Browder. For those of you who don't remember, Khalif Browder was a brother walking down the street in New York, Manhattan, or wherever it was in the city. All right, got picked up for a theft that he didn't commit, put in jail for 2 years.
Wow.
Case never came up, and then his mother had to sue to get him out, and this, that, and the other. But he was in Rikers. This boy's 19. Okay, Rikers.
That's one of the most worst prisons.
Right. Yeah. And who knows what happened to him? A year after he got out, after all he suffered through this ordeal, the young brother committed suicide.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I think I remember that.
Yeah. And I ain't gonna let y'all forget it. You can believe that. WHGE 95.3 FM.
What's up?
What's up, brother?
Hey, yo. You know what it is.
Yeah, buddy.
That's what's up. Haran, what's happening? Brandon, hey, yo, Bob, what's good? Black Rose, I see you. Definitely, I want all the smoke, boy. I ain't playing. For real, bro. Oh.
WHGE 95.3 FM, Nsoromma in the house. Patrice, Gibbs, the open eye, third eye optometrist. All right. Now, of course, people are still talking about Ukraine. It's still going on. They still ain't letting black people out of there. Okay. And then you got people like Joy Reid, all right, a sister who I used to really dig because she used to really bring some insight. But what she's doing is she's on there downplaying the violence that is taking place against our African brothers still stuck in Ukraine.
Brothers and sisters.
And sisters, that's right. Brothers and sisters.
You heard what Poland said, right?
Mm.
Poland said, if you come to our borders and you Muslim, black, any person of color, we're gonna shoot you. And we lock you up if you make it through.
Ain't there something?
Now, what does that tell you? We are the lowest on the totem pole in all of these countries. You know what I'm saying? But what do we have to do to change that? The mentality that the United States got other people thinking about us. You know? So
about African,
right? About
African American,
Africans in America. Is that, man?
Yeah, that's real deep.
Yeah.
Because I will tell you what, okay, the mindset,
right?
Okay, even affects African countries. All right, Chris Rock made a joke when he said, we've been here for 400 years. Right, and he ain't seen an African with a canoe or a spear to come get us yet. And many of these African countries are not doing their job and demanding that the Africans in the Ukraine be treated right. Okay, when we don't support our own, right, and we can't see. Okay, here's why people don't mess with Chinese. Because the Chinese government will tell you, hey, you gonna cut that out, or we're coming for you economically and possibly militarily.
Right.
Okay.
See, and that's what they do. They tore our structure down, and it never has returned.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Who is the one to step up to make that, to put that in? They all scared.
Right.
All of these politicians that's representing black people that for the change that's need to be made, they scared.
They scared.
So
get some
you
heart.
can't be a warrior and representing me. I mean, you cannot be a warrior and then represent me because I'm a warrior.
Right.
So if you're a non-warrior and you're trying to represent a warrior, that'll never work.
That'll never work.
You know?
That'll never work.
And they got these non-warriors in these positions, and they just as soft, you know? I mean, what do we have to do as a people to get them out and put somebody else in?
Right.
You know? They pick them people to be in there.
Right.
We as a
We
people
have to wake up.
Right.
Right. And see, here's the thing. All right. Now, NATO, of course, is in Europe. Okay, the national, what is it? I forget what NATO stands for, but whatever it is, it's the conglomerate of Western countries that you know, join together to protect Europe, Western Europe, and this, that, and the other. Okay, now NATO is racist. Forget about it. Forget about it. Rwanda during their civil war, okay, asked if they could join NATO. So they could, you know, get some peacekeepers in there and this, that, and the other. All right. Rwanda didn't look at the history of NATO. All right. Thank you for this, Sister Tracy. Don't forget the legacy of the NATO countries in the Republic of the Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo. Right. When my namesake, Lumumba's determination to achieve genuine independence and to have full control over Congo's resources, to utilize them to improve the living conditions of his people, was received as a threat to Western interests. From 1961 to right now, the imperialist powers hide behind puppet regimes, which the weak-ass people that Nsoromma was telling you about,
I was late.
To distribute the essential resources in the Congo to satisfy imperial interests. Did you know that the Democratic Republic of Congo produces up to 70% of the world's cobalt, an essential mineral in lithium batteries and products for Western companies like Apple, Tesla, Microsoft? It's in your cell phone, and that 35,000 plus miners in the Democratic Republic of Congo are children as young as 6. It's slave labor. The DRC is one of the poorest countries in the world, when its mineral wealth is estimated to be worth $24 billion. Resources which countries and multinational countries ruthlessly exploit at the expense of human lives. If Patrice Lumumba was able to govern Congo, we would be looking at a real different place right now. Understand?
That's why they wouldn't do that. That's why they'll bomb them. They'll bomb them and clear the whole land out, and then get what they gotta get. That's what they do.
That's what they do.
Savages. These people were savages. They ain't human.
Understand what Nsoromma said. These people are savages.
Right. When you're dealing with a savage, you gotta shoot a savage.
Right.
You understand?
These
are zombies. They worse than zombies. You see it on them zombie movies on TV coming at you.
And they cannibals.
Right.
Don't leave that out.
Cannibals and zombies coming at you, but they smart and can think.
And they're cunning.
Right, and cunning.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yo.
You know?
Yo,
yeah.
ready for,
but you know ready, what?
Man.
And when I say they're cannibals, okay, check this out. There's a book
what?
All about that I would actually advise you not to read. I never do that.
Right.
But this book is called The Delectable Negro. And it's about them eating black people and sodomizing and raping.
Yeah. And barbecuing.
And barbecuing.
That's where that came from.
Yes.
Picnic and barbecue. You know, you gotta know what you celebrating.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
These people are savages, man. Look. Okay, you hear white men running around talking about, we feel oppressed. We feel oppressed. We're oppressed. You know, everything is against white men. You know, all this homosexuality and all this blackness and all this people of color thing, it just oppresses heterosexual white men.
You know what? We need to make a law to make them stop talking about
that. That's a damn good idea. I'm going to tell you something. The reason why white people, especially white men, feel oppressed today is because accountability feels like oppression to an abuser.
Right. It's pointed at them.
Yeah.
It only the circle goes right back around to them.
Nsoromma said these people are savages. Okay? Now, that's not an opinion. This is a historical fact.
Right.
You got to remember, presidents held slaves. They had sex with their slaves.
Raping
them. Had children by their female slaves. And then had sex with their own children. You was a nasty ass. Something like that. Slave owners would find the biggest mandingo slave and sodomize him in the courtyard in front of all the other slaves. What kind of nasty bastard are you?
I mean,
they would go to the slave quarters and make the male slave stand outside while they raped his woman. You know? They would tar and feather black people. Do you know what?
You know how hot tar is?
Yeah. And then put some feathers on you.
I was a roofer.
Did
you know, and that liquid black tar will burn off it'll melt your skin and your bones so bad.
Jeez Louise.
It's ridiculous. And then they throw that on you and then throw feathers on you.
Yeah.
That is savage.
That's savage. That's savage. Lynching and Jim Crow is savage.
The mentality of the thought of all of the things that we saying. That just to tell you that we sound savage just saying the things they did. You know, that's ridiculous.
The reinvention of slavery, which is mass incarceration. Listen, y'all. Listen to this. Understand this. Because our leaders ain't doing a damn thing about this. Black men and women are kicking cotton down south right now. This morning, as I speak, on some plantation in the south, some prisoner who's probably been in prison on some trumped up crack is on some plantation right now picking cotton.
You gotta understand, man, if we're gonna survive, we gotta be willing to die instead of going to jail.
Really?
You know, it ain't about going to jail. It's about making your voice heard. And if you can make your voice heard through millions and something can happen, that's where it takes, that's what they mean by it only take one to get it started. You know, and if that one is you, let it be you. Let it be me, let it be her, whoever.
Right.
But it has to take place.
Yes.
You know, and this, because I don't want my kids growing up in this messed up
environment.
Yeah, I mean, we supposed to get together, be together. We're all human,
right?
You know,
right?
And that, we're all human on one planet. Like that. So,
but see, here's the thing: these severely inbred people who were in the dark ages for 1,000 years, getting digging and scratching from pubic lice, dripping menstrual cycle blood all over the damn place, walking around in rivers of feces, strewing men, women, and children and animals, spreading disease, robbed and pillaged enough to have the audacity to declare themselves rape royalty. Now, one of them married a biracial woman who, by the way, does not identify black.
Right.
And black people are celebrating this as if it's some universal accomplishment for black people. Are you out your damn mind? Black public figures up declaring that this is a great sign that white supremacy is on its last leg and that this is a great victory for race relations the world over my ass.
Do you know how deep that extends? That goes back. That extends systemic racism go back to 1618. It ain't just gonna go overnight. You have to get rid of the whole thing.
See, these white supremacists with the bloodiest history of murder and oppression, like Nsoromma is telling you, of African people, continue to rape African people all over the world, our resources, and murder black people at every opportunity, and then we're seeking acceptance to these people. I saw this thing, I think it was Sister Tracy that posted this, right? And I had the story, and it's actually in my book. This sister, I use the term loosely,
right,
that went to a Halloween party with her white co-workers and friends.
And I think I seen that.
And dressed up as a pickaninny, carrying a basket of cotton, and let them put a noose around her neck.
That's so disgraceful.
Just disgraceful. If I ran up on this hussy, and remember, I'm now, my blade would sing with ecstasy as it tasted the nectar of her severed organs.
That's not true.
The open eye.
WHGE 95.3. Oh, yeah. 844-944-3953.
The phone lines are on.
Quit playing. Call us.
Yeah, I feel you, Nsoromma.
I was like, yo.
Yes, indeed.
You know, the bathroom gone. The bathroom gone.
What you niggas going?
I almost went in the basement.
Oh, Suki.
I opened the door and there ain't no floor.
Oh,
We in the basement. Everything is gone.
I got 46 manager on that. You my cheese and weed.
I think he know that everything is gone. Every mile in the basement, he got a sign on the door.
Yeah.
Almost didn't look and stepped down and went through the floor, dog.
WHGE 95.3 FM. Nsoromma. Patrice, Gibbs. Yes, indeed. Y'all hear Nsoromma kicking it today, don't you?
That's
Y'all all right. Our intellectual surgeon, he ain't gonna chill. You know, now, I was talking about Africa, and one of the people that I talk about often is Muammar Gaddafi. Gaddafi wrote in his famous green book, "The Black Race Will Rise and Conquer the World." He's the only Arab leader who came public and apologized for the contribution of Arabs in the enslavement of blacks, even though he was never part of it. Gaddafi knew the real history, that black people are gods. That long before slavery, all races and people on the earth worshiped black dynasty. The world was ruled by black kings and queens. Gaddafi knew that one day blacks will unite and organize themselves and claim their place in the world. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Are you ready?
I started already.
I heard that.
So you want to come? Come on.
Come on.
It ain't no game.
No, we ain't playing. We ain't play fighting. This thing ain't no joke. And let me tell you something, because this is for some of these internet revolutionaries that wouldn't bust a grape. Okay? We don't just talk smack on the air. We do work. Okay? This ain't just what we do. We ain't just here talking smack. We putting in work. Understand that.
Definitely. We live it.
We live it. This is not entertainment. We are not entertainment revolutionaries.
Right.
We ain't making no money doing this. We're doing this for the love of our people.
That's right.
Understand that. So when we look at corporate greed, look, let me tell you what corporate greed is. Corporate greed is UPS cutting the wages of part-time workers by $3 an hour and blaming inflation for raising prices, while its profits skyrocketed by 11.5 billion last year to 12.9 billion this year. It's spending $5 billion on stock buybacks to enrich its wealthy shareholders. Now let me tell you what the oil companies are doing. What the oil companies are doing is they are taking the profits that they made from this corporate price gouging,
right?
Okay, and rewarding their stockholders instead of pumping up the oil supplies. And they even had the audacity and arrogance to put out a memo saying what they were doing, and was called up by Congress to explain that. And they said, well, and they're getting subsidies. Yo, they ain't getting subsidies. That means they're getting American taxpayer money. Run me my goddamn check. Since 2000, the U.S. has spent $32 million an hour on war.
Hold on. 32 million an hour on
an hour. Okay, not on healthcare, not on education, not on the infrastructure. $32 million an hour to kill people on the other side of the planet, and Americans still believe People hate them for their freedom. Run me my check. Run me my check. That's what.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, here's just real crazy. Oh, I gotta hit this too. Oh, I gotta hit this. Yeah,
and then they recruit you, right? I've been thinking about what you just said. They recruit you, right, to go fight and kill for them, and then they don't when you get out of the service, because this is we're hands-on for the veterans that's been in the service. Yes, they don't help them out. You know, they don't help them out. They don't house them, and they don't close them. They don't put them in a better position when they get out. We know this firsthand. And then on top of that, they don't give us education. They don't really help the poor people that really needs the food stamps and, you know, the little support check that they may not be able to get up and work because of a physical disability. You know what I'm saying? And they give them pennies on the trillions of dollars that they spending. $22 million an hour? 32. $32 million an hour in a war. That 1 hour can take care of a bunch of these people that I'm talking about. And they don't even put that in their mind. But they want you to go fight for them and then not help you with your health care bills and help feed you and none of that. They just want you to go. That is I call that a pimp. They are pimping the out of you. You know what I'm saying?
Thought I was going to have to beat on those.
That's what I'm saying. We gotta understand who the real pimp is.
Right.
It's temptation.
Yes.
Yo,
you gotta understand. Like Nsoromma said, you know who the real pimps are. Right. And just be your ideal. All right. See, when we do get successful or get opportunity, here they come. They gotta shut that down.
Right.
All right. Take for instance, the mostly black town in Minnesota, in Tennessee, Mason, Tennessee. Okay, a tiny majority black town in Tennessee, which is poised to benefit from a massive investment from the Ford Motor Company, has instead been taken over by the state's comptroller. So what they basically did was they came in and said, y'all mismanaging the city, the town. And since Ford is coming and they're going to build up in here and invest, okay, the state of Tennessee cannot allow you to benefit from this without being overseen by some white racist bastard. Because that's what they're doing.
Right. You've been running it fine all this time. And now they want to go, okay, you're doing a little too good, son. You're doing a little too good. And this is what I want to bring. Hey, Bobby. Come on over here and talk. I want you to watch over this.
Right? Yeah. You know? So the government, Tennessee comptroller, Jason Mumpower, okay? Yeah, and that's actually his name.
That sounds my fault.
He actually took steps and seized control of the town's resources and finances.
Wow.
And this paragraph comes after he had given Mason's government a choice between relinquishing its town charter, essentially giving away control of the town to Tipton County, or having him step in and assume control of the municipality's budget and spending power. So what they want to do is they want to make sure that this money coming in does not benefit black people.
And they always do that.
Yeah. Now, what are they teaching your children? Okay, what are they teaching your children? Take, for instance, Oklahoma. Check this out. This is real crazy. In Oklahoma, they have come up, or they are pushing these laws where if you as a teacher teach something that makes a white child uncomfortable, or you don't submit your curriculum to the white nationalist Christian school board,
so they can know what you're going to say.
What you're going to say. Okay. Right. And they don't like what you're saying, and you get in there and say it anyway. And one of these little white kids who had been indoctrinated by their parents come home and tell their parents that you taught.
We learned something black.
Yeah. Yeah.
You learned about Jesse Jackson. Marcus Garvey. What? You black stuff. See,
you could be fined as a teacher $10,000.
get what? Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
And check this out.
Wow.
If you get support from your friends,
hold up.
And then
And Miss Hughes, you hear that? That's
$10,000.
$10,000
For teaching the truth.
For you to teach the truth.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is
Right.
ridiculous.
And check it out, right? If you get help, what they do, crowdfunding, what's that other thing where you can get donations from people online?
What you mean? Oh yeah, when they GoFund.
GoFund,
Yeah.
right? If you raise the money through GoFund, and the money doesn't come out of your salary, out of your pocket, you could be banned from teaching for 5 years in Oklahoma. So what the hell are they teaching our children? Okay.
How to be slaves. They teaching them nothing.
Right.
They teaching them the doctrine of what they want them to know. You know?
That's what they're
They
doing.
ain't teaching no life survival things.
No.
When we was coming up in school, we had, I'm gonna break it down. We had food economics. They taught us how to cook and clean. You know, we have basic things that we was in school. Phys ed. We would work out and go to gym. It was necessary things that you did to keep your body and your mental fed.
Right.
They might have been teaching us the wrong thing, but they needed us to be physical.
Right.
You know? So they could work us. So I mean, fortunately, a lot of us was smart enough to inhale it and keep all the stuff that they was teaching us.
Yes, indeed.
And that made us a better rounded thinker. A lot of
thinker.
Right, thinkers.
Right.
We are thinkers instead of just go-getters and runners.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's word.
And that's what's missing out of our generation. That's what they take out of the now generation. You know, they don't think before they run. You don't really need that. You know, they don't think before they do. Oh, I'm gonna shoot you. You know, I mean, it's a think thing. They took the thinking out of the process of what's going on now.
Of education.
Right.
And I tell you something, like Nsoromma said, see, they don't teach you to think. We were taught to think. Okay? We were taught to think.
Right.
Okay? What they're teaching now is more important is to remember. So remember how to put that square peg into the round hole.
Right.
You know?
And just if you figure it out, if you do it till you figure it out.
Yeah.
No. That's crazy, man.
No.
And for us to be the only ones seeing this and not these black politicians and leaders that's supposed to be representing our community not see this, that's what had me upset. That's why I really don't vote and participate with none of that. You know, until I see somebody in there. Now, if you would have ran, I would have been in front line.
Yeah, I heard
you know
that.
what I'm saying?
I heard that.
Certain these people that's running right now,
I did some stuff in the past. I want them to bring it up.
You know,
I'm just kidding.
They got stuff in the past that's supposed to be you can imagine you did.
You can believe that.
And they up there.
That's what.
You know what I'm saying?
You know. And then you got fools like Candace Owens and Larry Elder who are running around. Black people now, all right? Larry Elder, he is the OG of broken buck Negroes, Negro peons. Yeah. You know, and Candace Owens is, you know, she's the up and coming, well, she's up and came because she made $1 million off of her animosity towards black people. This Negro peon dead wench is just a sorry ass husband. These people are actually up talking about, well, if black people get reparations, then the slave owners that own slaves, they lost property. So they should get reparations too.
How they first of all, how do a savage thief rapist that came and stoned the people deserve anything?
I don't understand that. Because, and another thing, Lincoln already gave them reparations when, you know, they took their slaves and property. That's already been done. That's already been done. I tell you what, boy,
I'm saying this is who's in front of the. This is who's running in front of the media for us,
right?
As black people, and
right.
we as black people don't want her
Hell
in front of us.
Hell no.
But yet they stick her right there.
That's
because they on their team.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Mm-hmm. They go with the program.
That's what
you know.
Yeah.
And I don't want nobody that just go with the program representing me.
Me either, bro.
Because they talking about me specifically when I see it, because I'm black.
That's right.
You know?
That's what.
And that's what had me so upset. You know?
And I heard that. Well, listen, brother, let me tell you.
What?
I grew up in the 70s, and I talked about Bill last week. I remember how militant Bill Cosby was.
Right.
And I remember the feeling of black pride, the Afros, and James Brown, and the community centers. Right here in Wilmington, we had the King Center, the West Side Community Center.
Right.
We had Black Men's Development Center, just to name a few.
Right.
And the community centers had all kinds of activities, cultural arts and craft, music, dance, poetry, writing, acting, sports and martial arts. You know, there was tutoring and job skills training and the summer jobs programs.
Right.
There were plays, concerts, films, documentaries. There were field trips to museums and amusement parks. Black Men's Development Center was founded and run by a group of brothers formerly of the NOI who had converted to Orthodox Islam. They not only had community activities, but they also had first offender rehab programs. People was doing it, brother. The black community, many community or privately funded community centers, okay, were staffed by volunteers and activists. It was the loudmouth rabble rousers. And then came government funding. The government came up with a great way to shut up the rabble rousers. See, along with government funding came jobs and salaries and titles and nice cars and homes in the suburbs. Yeah. Soon community centers had executive directors who had to apply for government grants to keep the centers open and keep their jobs that pay for the cars and suburban homes. And the grants kept getting smaller and the activities and programs were cut. Not only do executive directors have to apply for grants, but they also have to prove their relevance and necessity. And the grants keep getting smaller and the programs get cut and the staff get cut. Now, instead of community center executive directors, they have become grant hustlers to keep the job and pay for their cars and suburban homes. All right, and that's what happened. Now, we got brothers like Brother Logan Hare, who I'm going to have on Friday on a special show that has turned that mindset around.
Brother Logan Hare?
Logan Hare. Yes, sir. He is the executive director of Kingswood now. Okay. Making big changes over there.
Good job, bro. Good job, bro. Good job.
That's word. This is Over and I. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
I'm Nsoromma.
And as we always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, and you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority
who treat you as an option.
WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yeah. That boy's moving on. Yo, what's it's your boy Nsoromma. You see B coming in, he about to come in on a second clap. Yo, Pat,
all right. Peace, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the great comments and what have you. Hey, one love. One love. All right.
Nsoromma, streaming everywhere. Nsoromma. Go get that. Yo.